A nation where almost all citizens are 100% Muslim is very rare. Only the Maldives and Afghanistan are really that high. But then again, the Maldives doesn't really count, does it? Since its population is less than 500,000 and Afghanistan is not 100% Muslim, it's 97% Muslim. You probably figured from the thumbnail, it is the beautiful Somalia. And I don't say that for no reason. Somalia is really beautiful. Look at these scenes behind me. I'm not going to lie and portray a false image though. Currently Somalia is going through a brutal civil war and a lot of issues are plaguing the community, but the Somalian people remain steadfast. Regardless, Somalia is the nation that took down the American Black Hawk helicopter in 1993. If you guys didn't know, they took it out with the RPG during the Battle of Mogadishu. Kind of sidetracking here, but just imagine an RPG round taking down a $10 million helicopter. After this, I think the Major General said that was very lucky shot. Anyways, onto the video. So firstly, I'll go over how Islam got to Somalia in the first place. Then I'll briefly talk about Mogadishu and its Islamic history. Then I'll look at the first Sultanate in Mogadishu. Make sure to stay all the way to get the most out of this video and drop me a quick like and sub now. So, how did Islam get to Somalia? Like many nations and many videos I've done in the past, Islam got to Somalia by way of trade. Specifically in famous areas like Mogadishu and Berbera. Keep in mind, this is important because Mogadishu is Somalia's capital and largest city, but it first arrived in the port of Zila, which is far north in Somalia. As the years went by from its founding in the 1st century, the Arabs would bring with them traditions as well as goods, from praying 5 times a day to fasting in Ramadan. Slowly, after some da'wah, Muslims from Somalia started reverting to Islam and started worshipping one God. In this port town of Zila lays possibly the oldest mosque in the whole of Africa. I say possibly because I can't find anyone talking about this. It's the Masjid al-Qiblatain, not to be confused with the mosque in Medina where the Prophet ﷺ changed the Qibla from Jerusalem all the way to Mecca. The mosque in Zila, however, is believed to be built around the 7th century AD. Now, let us look at Mogadishu and its Islamic past. Mogadishu, being the capital, had many visitors from the Islamic world, which, keep in mind, at the time was quite vast. It stretched all the way from Spain all the way to the borders of India. And even later on, one visit from Ibn Battuta, the man that is famous for his travels across Muslim lands. This is what he had to say about Mogadishu. A town of endless size, its people have many camels, of which they slaughter hundreds every day, and they have many sheep. Its people are powerful merchants. In it are manufactured the clothes they named after it, which have no rival and are transported as far as Egypt and elsewhere. One of the customs of the people of this city is that when a ship arrives at anchorage, the sunbuks, which are basically small boats, come out. In them they bring a dish with food on it. He offers it to one of the merchant ships and says, "This is my guest." When the merchant disembarks from the ship, he goes nowhere but to the house of the host. You can tell Ibn Battuta enjoyed his travels to Somalia, specifically Mogadishu. Not only that, I want to highlight something. At the start he mentions that the people have camels and sheep. This wasn't for no reason, however. As East Africa in general was known to deal with many droughts and starvation, the description he gives, however, is far from that. Moving on, let's talk about the Sultanate of Mogadishu, founded by Fakhreddin in the 10th century. It lasted for almost 600 years, controlling lands in the Horn of Africa. They grew to be massive and became a super important part of the Indian Ocean trade network, which connected Africa, Arabia, Persia, India and China. The city traded with goods such as gold, ivory. They even traded slaves and textiles, generating a lot of money and bringing prosperity to the land. One thing I want to mention is I never thought China would have ever traded with Somalia. I never thought there was any relations with Somalia or China at all. And what's even crazier is that Sa'ad from Mogadishu was the first African man to set foot in China. Yes, the first African man was a Muslim. Sorry, the first African man to set foot in China was a Muslim. Now this is crazy if you think about it. Mogadishu also became a center of Islamic learning, attracting scholars from across the Muslim world. The city hosted madrasas, which are basically schools, where theology, law and other subjects were taught. Its architecture, like the Fakhreddin Mosque built in 1269, showcases a blend of Islamic and Swahili styles. And that's all I've got for you guys today, a short and brief history of Somalia. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.